12 million views, hundreds of thousands of downloads over this one photo. And I'm not really a photographer, so Frank, what is going on? Oh, wait, am I in this episode? I've been thinking about making this video for quite a bit because I think there's a really interesting lesson for creatives of all types. Whether you're an artist, a painter, musician, composer, filmmaker, there's a really interesting lesson here. You'll notice how I didn't call myself a photographer, and that's because I don't really consider myself as one. I don't have a passion for it, and I'm certainly not good at it. But in any case, around 3 years ago, I was in Japan traveling with my wife. I woke up one morning and I went down to the lobby and I noticed these really colorful tables there. So I just took my phone out and I took a photo of it. I thought, hey, this might make an interesting Instagram post or, a colorful phone background. Everybody loves those. And right around that time, I was using this new app called Unsplash, and I didn't really know a lot of people who were using it. But I thought, hey, it'd be cool if I uploaded my photo there, and I did, and I just completely forgot about it from there on. Flash forward like a few years, and we're all in the pandemic, and I get an email one day, and it's a lady, and she's saying, hey, thank you so much for letting me use this photo on my school's website. And I was like, wait a minute. Backtrack a little bit. I don't take photos, that's not me. And so I went to the school's website and I noticed it was the photo of the table that I took in Japan. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. So I went to Unsplash and I noticed I've got like 1.5 million notifications. It's just blowing up. People have been liking, following, and downloading this dumb image. And I'm like, wait a minute. This one photo has this many views? This many views? I was stunned. Chocolate milk, by the way, so good. Yeah, I was blown away. I was like, they're all liking, following, and downloading this photo from my profile. I was like, okay, what is going on? Let me Google reverse image search this thing and see where it's being used. And it's practically everywhere. I mean, it's just everywhere. It's used on websites, textbooks, handbooks, BuzzFeed, Notion. It's all over the place. There's even like Eastern European or Russian websites claiming to have ownership over it, and so they're just like screen printing it on everything. Swag, bags, mugs, cups, whatever. It's everywhere. The stupid photo is literally everywhere. Gotta love chocolate milk. It's so good. This hits the spot. Yeah, does that make me a photographer? Maybe, I don't know. I don't really think so. It's probably really insulting to actual photographers to even consider myself as one. But then I look at the other photos on Unsplash and I see a lot of fantastic photos, really, really well done. And they've got significantly less views than this dumb, stupid table photo. So what exactly is going on? It's sad to say, but this is by far the most popular thing I've ever done, and it kills me deep down inside. I've been a musician for years. I put sweat, blood, and tears in all of my videos, but none of them have this kind of reaction. Why is that? To understand that, I think we need to go back in time and examine what happened when I uploaded that photo. So back in 2017 or 18, Unsplash was relatively unknown compared to what they are today, at least. So they were pretty small, and I was just using them to get cool phone backgrounds. So when I uploaded my photo onto Unsplash, I was probably one of the first few thousand users on their site. And that gave me first mover advantage. First mover's advantage is killer. I submitted my photo to a service that was just starting to get its legs. They didn't have a ton of photos, so their algorithm was pushing out my photo, as with all the other photos on that site. So being one of the first few really helped, because they were just pushing out that photo to Twitter, to Instagram, their main collections, and the photo ended up getting a ton of views, and I just joined them for the ride. And so the same thing happens on apps like TikTok. Imagine being one of the first few users or musicians on that app, or joining YouTube 10 to 15 years ago. You had a massive advantage because you were just competing with a lot less people. You were just joining the shortest line, and good for you for doing that. And that's one of the takeaways here, honestly. Like, if you're a musician or an artist or whatever, and if you want to get noticed, you can't join the longest line every time. You've got to figure out, where is my advantage? Where is the shortest line? Because that's where you're gonna be able to get noticed faster and much easier, because you're not competing with everybody on a platform or whatever it may be. And so you can have advantages by, joining a service really early on, being unique, just being yourself. If you can be the first person to do a certain sound or a certain visual or a certain film, certain whatever, it makes you first at it. And so being unique is so key. You don't want to join the longest line. Join the shortest one. find the shortest line in your niche and work through it. Put yourself out there a million times on new things and new ways, because you never know what's gonna give you that first mover's advantage. Make sure you subscribe for part 2, because I'm gonna be testing out how important first mover advantage is. See, that day, I actually took 2 photos. One of table A, which I posted on Unsplash, and another, which I still have. So I'm gonna be posting this photo, and we'll see how I perform when I don't have first mover advantage. Okay, I'm back. Had to put my hair up and get some more chocolate milk. So the other thing I noticed is, yeah, this photo is being pushed out by the algorithm, and I had first mover's advantage, but it's also being used by a ton of people. And I guess it's because it's such a generic photo, you know? It's got a wide range of applications. It's just easy to use. This reminds me of this video that Christian Henson did once, and if you don't know Christian, he's one of the founders of Spitfire Audio and a really big composer as well. He was saying how his colleague had like this track called Big Dark Drone or something like that, I'm butchering it. But it was a really generic but simple drone, and it was one of his most well-paying tracks because it was just easy to use. It was generic and it could be applied to many different videos for many different editors. And that's what made it a huge success for him. And that's the big takeaway here. Sometimes as a creator, when you're trying to make a living off of this stuff, you have to create something that has utility in this mass consumer, mass appeal sort of way. It's like creating that generic pop track that's super easy to write, and you're kind of like, whatever. But it's the one that everybody ends up liking, and it's just used everywhere, and eventually ends up on like a Cialis commercial. Am I a photographer? Again, I would say no, but the world is funny that way. It's sort of decided that I am. But I'm gonna keep creating music and film and cartoons because that's what I like to do. And as a disclaimer, yeah, I do understand that this one photo may have 12 million views or hundreds of thousands of downloads, but it's really hard to say if those are 12 million actual views or just glancing impressions. I'm sure some fraction of them are sketch in some way or another. But the lesson still stands, which is that if I want to make a living through creating art, I'm going to continue making stuff that I enjoy doing. But every once in a while, I should do something that has mass appeal and utility. And the other thing is that I should keep trying out new platforms as much as possible, as soon as possible. And the combination of those two things can have a pretty explosive result. Now, I have not paid a single penny from any of these views or downloads of this one photo, and that's just because of the nature of Unsplash. Everything is free on there. I will say that the first dollar that I made off of selling my music means much more to me. I am glad that people are using this photo and they're having fun with it. As a creative, that's always nice to see. Hopefully one day I'll get there on YouTube as well. But for now, if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.